This week on TIAA Bank, Jaguars Weekend. One last game together. The Jaguars will make major changes this offseason.
Let's finish strong and feel good about where we're at.
This is the last time this team will be this team.
It was a great sell job by Ogunbowale himself.
We're in the film room with Jeff Lageman, and we're taking you inside the building for a closer look at mealtime.
I am a full-time dad. Just jumped all the way into it after I retired.
Plus, we sit down with two Jaguars alumni. We get you ready for the 2021 season finale, now on Jaguars Weekend.
This is TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. TIAA Bank, turn potential into progress. Geico, saving people money on car insurance has been in Geico's playbook for 85 years. Visit geico.com today and see all the ways you could save. And Cadillac, visit your local greater area Jacksonville Cadillac dealer. Today's game is presented by roofclaim.com.
I don't think any of us envisioned the season going the way that it did. When you start here, whatever it was 11 months ago, you have these great visions in your head of how this thing's going to go. Obviously, Trevor coming in as a rookie quarterback, I think he thought it was going to go a particular way. But there's been a lot of struggles. I think he's handled it tremendously. But one guy can't do it all by himself. Regardless of how good that player is, you need help from the other guys around you, and all of us have to be better.
You could have written a book about the craziness of the 2021 season. Many people reading would not have expected this ending. Hello and welcome to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. I'm Ashlyn Sullivan. Disappointing, upsetting, embarrassing. You can find the adjective to describe this season. A year that was meant to be filled with positive change has been anything but that. The turnover will be dramatic this offseason. We don't know who will be here next year, and that goes for players and coaches. That is why this last game against the Colts is so meaningful. For many of these guys, it could be their last time on the field. Let's hear more in our Baptist Health feature.
I think there's plenty to play for. I think these guys are motivated. I do know that these guys care. I'm around them every day, and it's this is an important thing to them. So I think they'll be ready to go.
This week, the focus has been clear. The players are giving all they have to prepare for the Colts team. They have an entire offseason to think about the future. So why not focus on the now?
I just want to get to a point to where we can just focus on football. That's the only goal we can, really control. Every man coming here, we worry about one thing, and the goal is to win the Super Bowl. Like that's the goal that I have and that I want as a team. And I feel like that's what we need. We need the consistency, and we need to just focus on one thing.
Experience is crucial in this league, and many young players are getting game reps they wouldn't normally get. As for the rookie quarterback, after what he went through this year, he's ready for anything going forward.
I really do feel like I've been through more than a lot of people can say they've been through in their first season. So it does give you confidence in, hey man, whatever comes at me, I know I can handle it. Obviously, you don't want to go through what we've gone through again this year, and I have confidence we won't. But yeah, that gives you a little bit of just, man, whatever's around the corner, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to keep being me every day.
Welcome into the huddle. We're here with Brian Sexton and John Oehser getting ready for one more game. It has been a long-awaited last game, Brian, but it's in everyone's best interest to focus on this last game, play well, then move on.
I don't know whether you've ever seen the Broadway play Hamilton or heard the soundtrack. The songs are so catchy. All I hear is One Last Time, when they transfer power from George Washington and he's leaving office. I just keep hearing that song over and over. One last time, one last time, one last time. The end is truly the beginning for this franchise. The end of this season and this era and this experiment with a college coach who had great success. It's all done, and the slate has to get wiped clean, and apparently it will be, and they will start over after this week, and we're all ready for it.
Well, unfortunately, as Jaguars observers, Jaguars fans who are watching this, we've been down this road. We know how this game feels. They'll play it. I think the players will play with some intensity. If they can stay in it for a while, then I think they will have an interesting game in the second half. And then once it's over, it's over very quickly, and you're moving on to the off season. I've said it all week. Parallel universe this week. You're preparing for this game with the knowledge that there's a lot more things going on in Jaguars universe.
Yes, and right now what's really weird is that there are coaching interviews being taken place when the Jaguars are preparing for a game this Sunday, and we've heard reports of 3 interviews completed, Brian, so it's a lot of hurry up and wait. You hear these reports, you think a decision's coming, but we know it won't come most likely for the next 2 weeks.
Well, I'm like everyone else. I'm impatient. I'd like to know what the future holds. But in this case, take the time to investigate. The list of names that has been reported is an impressive list of both guys who have been coaches in this league and rising stars, a Byron Leftwich, a Kellen Moore. There's no rush to go ahead and get it done if you don't take the time to learn as much as you can about each one of these guys. So while I'd like to know, like everyone else, you can't waste another year of this quarterback's development on a guy who may or may not be your guy.
It feels unique because it is. They've never really had a situation where you could go out and interview guys during the season officially. And you've got a situation where the Jaguars are really the only team involved. So as Brian said, there's not a lot of rush on this until next week when other coaches, other vacancies are there. So I think Shad Khan has had a chance to sort of, chew on it, if you will, figure it out, start looking for what he wants. My gut, and this is not inside information, but my gut said it's going to be an ex-head coach, a guy who has seen it before, a guy with a vision. There are names out there that are intriguing. Fingers crossed.
Now it's time for Finding Solutions, presented by UF Health, delivering compassionate care and world-class outcomes. Visit ufhealthjax.org/gameplan. This game on Sunday against the Colts, yes, the Jaguars have struggled mightily this season. A lot of people are asking, why even pay attention to this game? Well, Brian, this game's kind of weird. This matchup's weird. The Colts haven't won here in Jacksonville since 2014. We forget about that, but this matchup at times is hard to predict.
Well, the Jaguars have won 6 in a row, and it started in 2015. They came down here still involved in the playoff hunt, and Jacksonville beat them 51-16. In 2019, the Colts had a chance to finish 9-7 and be in the wild card hunt, and the Jaguars beat them 38-20. It doesn't always make sense, except the Jaguars have long looked at the Colts and said, that's the team we have to beat, and have geared up. They have been the class of the division for a long time, so I think it makes some sense that they get geeked up for this game, and they try to match up and play their best.
Well, if I'm looking for a solution for the Jaguars to win, you got to stop Jonathan Taylor. He's really good. He's dominant. What you worry about if you're the Jaguars observers, is Taylor just going off early, because he can set such a tone. And if he goes off early, then all of a sudden they establish dominance, and it's hard when you're a team out of the playoffs to come back when that has been established. Somehow stop Jonathan Taylor is your solution to trying to make that 7 in a row over the Colts.
Yes, you just want some energy and some effort out of the Jaguars, especially in front of their home crowd this Sunday against the Colts. Much more to come from Brian Sexton and John Oehser here in the Huddle. Coming up on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend, a new episode of Fireside Chats is next.
Jaguars Weekend is presented in part by TIAA Bank, turn potential into progress, and by Geico. Saving people money on car insurance has been in Geico's playbook for 85 years. Visit geico.com today and see all the ways you could save. Download Ultimate Jags now from the App Store and Google Play for a chance to win weekly prizes, including game tickets, autographed merchandise, and more. Today's game is presented by roofclaim.com.
Try to squeeze every good thing that you can out of this year. And I don't care if it's from a coach, from your teammates, just squeeze everything you can, because moving into your next year, you're gonna think that you are gonna have, okay, things are gonna be different. But you as a player and you as a player and a person, you're still gonna have to face these different challenges that you probably didn't want to focus on, didn't want to pay attention to because it wasn't losing you.
There have been very few positives this season, but wide receiver Laquan Treadwell is becoming one.
Welcome back to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. I'm Ashlyn Sullivan. Defensive end has always been a crucial position to the success of a football team. It's all about the sacks. Former Jaguar Reggie Heyward knows a thing or two about that. He had over 17 sacks during his time here in Jacksonville. Reggie sits down with former teammate Josh Scobee for the newest episode of Fireside Chats.
Hey, I'm Josh Scobee, and this is Fireside Chats presented by Tico People's Gas.
And we're here with one of my favorite teammates I've ever played with, Reggie Heyward. Reggie, thanks for coming to my house and hanging out by my fire here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. This is a beautiful fire.
Well, I'd set it up myself.
I love it.
Yes.
Sets the mood.
Yeah, my wife might have done this, but whatever. How you been?
I've been well.
Good.
Doing well.
What you been up to lately?
You know what? I am a full-time dad. Yeah.
We all are.
Yeah, I just jumped all the way into it after I retired. So, I get up and get the kids ready for school, hit the gym, come back, fake dinner. I fake it.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I Uber dinner, and I spend time with the kids, and I'm enjoying it.
That's great.
After you remove yourself from the game, you get to catch up for lost time.
We obviously played, 4 or 5 years together. We had, 2 playoff runs whenever you're there? 05, your first year.
Yes.
Then 07.
Yes.
Did you have a particular favorite moment, maybe a favorite play, favorite game, whatever?
I think that my favorite moment, or just, in my career, is that 07 run. And the reason why it was so, moving, why it stuck with me so well is because everyone thought we weren't going to win that game when we went to Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And just a group of individuals in the locker room, we all believed, and to actually go out there, and I remember the clock running down, and you just look up, and the fans, they were so deflated, and that was just one of those things. And then you look at all the teammates, and everyone was celebrating. Jack Del Rio was going crazy. We were all going crazy, and I was like, this is what we work so hard for. This is why we do this. It's not easy to start off the season super hot and ending up playing in a freezing cold. But when you win games like that, that just tugs at your heart. And I think the fans, they loved it too.
Well, on another note with the Jaguars, what do you see in our current defensive ends like Josh Allen, Caleb Chase, Dwan Smoot, guys like that? Any similarities to the style that you played with?
It's different. We were bigger defensive ends.
Yeah.
So to see them being able to still pass the run, they still get off the quarterback, but they also play the run very well. And it's funny because, if we knew that the NFL was going to change to these little fast, speedy DNs, we never would have put on that much weight.
So if you were playing now in 2021 and you were the same height and weight that you were, back in 2005, how would you play now? Would you change it up? Would you keep it the same?
I would change it up just a little bit. And just to go back a little bit, I would have tried to slim down and just,
faster.
Just faster,
yeah.
Because it just would have been a different style of play. And that I see right now that I would enjoy doing. So, I don't know.
Reggie, thanks for coming to my house and being part of the Fireside Chats presented by Tico Peoples Gas. And make sure this is not the last time you come over. Just come hang.
I appreciate that. Thank you for having me. It's a wonderful setup.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Find more information about natural gas outdoor fire features, as well as available rebates for energy-efficient appliances at peoplesgas.com/rebates. Lunchtime is a crucial moment when you work for a football team. Arguably the best part of everyone's day. Jaguars Director of Performance Nutrition, Mindy Black, has a great handle on everyone's meals. We take you inside the building for this feature on Jaguars Nutrition.
As a dietitian, I try to meet them where they are coming from and where their comfort zone is, and then kind of build up trust and go little steps at a time to get to where they need to be. We do grocery store tours, we do cooking classes, we do just nutritional talks just to kind of get them incorporated with, okay, now you're a pro, and so this is how you can be successful on your own.
How's that?
Looking good.
So the food per se hasn't changed much. However, we have incorporated more fun in the team dining. During OTAs, we had each position group plan a meal, and all guys are competitive. So, they planned a meal and then they voted who had the best meals. And so it's been a lot more fun trying to, pick things that the guys really like to do and incorporating those types of foods with the things that they need for performance as well. These guys are so metabolically efficient that, for what we consider a cheat day, they have on a normal basis in the sense that they burn a ton of calories. I really feel like all foods can fit, so I don't like putting things in like a bad food, good food type of model. We know that high fat, high sugar meals increase inflammation and they don't do well for performance. So if they want foods like that, we do that on a Wednesday or Thursday, not a Saturday night or not a Monday morning kind of thing. When you work with a guy all off season and you can just see his body absolutely change, or when you work with a guy during the season and he's struggled with hydration for the past 15 years or cramping the past 15 years and all of a sudden you figure out the right formula to where he's not cramping anymore, it's absolutely rewarding. That's why we're here.
Coming up on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend.
Once he gets this block and then he slips out to this side, now you've got the screen set up perfectly.
We're in the film room with Jeff Lageman, taking a closer look at the running backs. Next.
I just want to get to a point to where we can just focus on football. You know what I mean? That's the only goal we can, really control. You know what I'm saying? Every man come in here, we worry about one thing, and the goal is to win the Super Bowl. Like that's the goal that I have and that I want as a team, and I feel like that's what we need.
With all the drama the Jaguars locker room has had to deal with, focusing on just football sounds really nice right now.
Welcome back to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. The running game has been a topic all year, even when James Robinson was healthy. With Robinson on injured reserve, the recent rushing numbers won't blow you away, but the Jaguars are finding some consistency in Dare Ogunbowale. Jeff Lageman breaks down his touchdown against the Patriots in the Cadillac film room.
Dropping, it's a blitz this time. They throw a screen to the left side to Dare Ogunbowale inside the 20, to the 15, to the 10, 5, touchdown.
Welcome into the football lab, and Trevor was able to get a touchdown pass late in the ball game on a screen play to Dare Ogunbowale, and it worked because of a couple different factors on the play. Let's start with the defense. A blitz with man coverage, and the Jaguars had 3 wide receivers lined up to the side they were going to run the screen to. They run the tight end and the wide receiver, the inside 2 guys, across the formation, and that draws the coverage away from where you want to set up the screen. Now the screen itself. Dare, because the Patriots are blitzing, has to block the first linebacker, Bentley, to give time for the screen to set up, and he does a great job, commits to it, and he sells the block. And then this linebacker thinks, who's got man coverage on Dare, thinks that, okay, he's blocking Bentley, now I can come. So he comes second hand. But once he gets this block, and then he slips out to this side, now you've got the screen set up perfectly because this linebacker's now committed. This side has been vacated by the defense, and it's a perfect setup because of the sell job, the play design itself, and the defensive play call. Now let's jump into the film and take a look at it live. Now let's start with the wide shot. You can see newly signed tight end Waring crossing the formation with Tavon Austin. They're trying to draw the defense away from the side of the screen in which it's going to be set up. But now let's focus in on the end zone shot, because watch the job that Dare does on blocking Bentley. He gets just enough of them to slow it down to allow time to set up the screen. And then the second linebacker thinks he's blocking, so he's hugging up blitzing or committing to blitzing the quarterback. And this timing is absolutely impeccable. And look at the delivery of the ball by Trevor Lawrence. He hits Dare perfectly in stride so that he can run away from 2 defenders that are trying to chase it down from behind. Great situation, but it all started with the sell job by Dare and the execution of many for this touchdown.
Still to come, Brian Sexton and John Oehser are back with what they would like to see from the Jaguars in the season finale. That's next.
Lawrence taking a deep shot down the field. Treadwell's down there. Treadwell holds on.
But Laquan Treadwell mic'd up against the New England Patriots, a guy that has very much put his name on the map and possibly has created a role here in Jacksonville that we can depend on for seasons to come. You can check out all the mic'd up features always on Jaguars.com. We're back in the huddle with Brian Sexton and John Oehser for the last time this season, a guy you're paying attention to for this upcoming game.
Defensive end Josh Allen. The Jaguars have to have takeaways if they're going to make this an interesting game, and he's the most likely candidate. He had a big day in Indianapolis in November. If he gets a strip sack or tips a ball that gets intercepted and offers a short field for the offense, I say the Jaguars make it interesting. I'm watching Allen all day.
We're sort of running out of guys. I mean, there's so many injuries on this team and so much craziness, but I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence. He has taken on more of a leadership role on what has always been a leadership role in this team. It's clear from listening to him, he wants to get out of this season on a positive note on Sunday. I see a couple of touchdowns for him. Not sure I see a win, but let's see if he can play better and set a positive tone going into the offseason.
Yeah, two guys you would love to see play well in front of their home fans after a very crazy year, the last game of the 2021 season. Thank you for tuning in all season long to Jaguars Weekend. We'll have a season recap here in a couple of weeks. We'll see you then.